This is all dependent on that first blood, right? Which lane is it going to come from, and which team is going to give it over to the opponents? Now, once again, welcome into the second game of our final series of the day. Regum Qeon going up against KAGENDRA, but KAGENDRA's make some noise because you want to tie this series up, RRQ. They want to be the kings of kings and take this 2-0.
Well, I mean, I like the understanding of obviously the Suya here onto Lex, because obviously when you kill Chano's Wolves, you get those XP orbs. So really, you're kind of feeding over that level 15 cap a little bit quicker over to the side of Rex RRQ.
Yeah, so it's more of a laning thing. Like if it was in the mid lane, like a Milady with like the extra, right? The Mercs or whatever. I think that you're gonna have a much better time. But you know, Lex, it really comes back to this guy. Like this pick to me, questionable. I mean, it wasn't the greatest, but it has play. Let's see what Lex can do here.
I mean, it's got good wave clear as well, right? Obviously, using the universal law is going to be able to wipe out those minion waves, but we'll do going in.
Oh, they do a decent amount of damage on our Harpist, who actually has to just limp away. Not a great start for him.
No, absolutely not. You don't want to be sort of losing too much health right now. Obviously, they were able to get the first minion wave, which is probably the most important thing for Harpist on the early.
Yeah, definitely going to help them out. I mean, Harpist is the #1 guy. I mean, he goes down, you're losing a ton of damage. I don't really think you can even team fight from then. It's not a full-on 4 protect 1 type of composition, but it's close, especially with his early here.
Very close indeed. But right now, obviously, KAGENDRA, as always, the fashion that they love to do is get that 3.2 gold lead here from the side of RRQ. Maybe even more if they do decide that the first blood over into this mid lane.
Yeah, on the KAGENDRA side, it's all about Weaver, right? Yangjian, is he able to get going? Yes, he doesn't have the Celestial Melody that 663 might provide, but this is still a situation where, like, let Weaver shine, right?
Yeah.
You know that Lan Feng is the old reliable. He's gonna do his damage, but it didn't seem like anyone else was really picking up the slack as well.
I mean, it's late game, right? So obviously, I don't think the Lan Feng, if they put the pressure on here for the side of RRQ onto Lan Feng, then getting to that late game can be really difficult for him and may never actually get online, especially if RRQ can actually quicken up the pace here.
Yeah. I think pace is, I like that word here because it's going to be key, right? You want to be aggressive. You want to be taking things away. And Weira right now, it looks like everybody's just kind of sticking around. Ihans is even helping him farm. Away. And Weira right now, it looks like everybody's just kind of sticking around. Ihans is even helping him farm.
Yeah, you can see that obviously Suya has gone down to the bottom side of the map here to try and get as much as those XP orbs from the likes of the China and the Spirit Wolves, but right now it's 663 getting hit by the soaring shot.
Soaring shot, but Lan Feng just sticking around that tower, nothing to worry about as of now, but for me it's like buy, right? Like, is he able to kind of keep on pace? Is he able to kind of invade at times? Because the Dune is not the Dune of old. It definitely, you need to work a little bit harder to make it, you know, excel.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like his belligerence, and obviously Gal's Benediction is not going to quite have that same HP regen as what we once knew, but as you've seen in ranked games, more so taking up into the top side of the map rather than going into the jungle here as well. So it's still, with the Dolia, I feel like it's the initiation they need, right? Obviously, once you get to level 4 onto the Dune, he's already going to be quite tanky anyway, because he's got all skills going for him.
True. And if he's able to get to the backline, he gets on the Senku, Lan Feng, is able to lock him down, you're going to have a great time. So it really, got to have a great game. Lex needs to get Harpist going as well, helping support him.
Yeah, I feel like Dune was Yangjian before Yangjian was Yangjian.
Yeah. Probably at a younger...
if that made sense.
Younger Yangjian. Yeah. No, it took me a minute. I had to draw it out in my mind, but I got it now. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense in that sense. But now KAGENDRA here, continuing on. I think that this is where things are very equal. You see the teams are playing very cagey, poking apart. Nobody wants to take any sort of risk because, again, if, you know, KAGENDRA goes down 0-2, that's a terrible spot to be.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, you could look at these like potential combos that are coming through with these initiations, right? Like, if we see Lex land that slow, that damage over time, and then Bai comes in with the Unruly Blade, the Wind Slash, it's going to really lock down the squishy heroes onto the side of KAGENDRA in place.
Yeah, and also Xinglin. I mean, this is something that's kind of underrated on that draft. We didn't talk too much about the Charlotte, but if he's also able to get to the back line, following up with Bai, I mean, you might be able to get the pick off. So the damage needs to come well coordinated, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, the way that they can get a little bit more damage here onto the side of RRQ is if they are successful in terms of getting this Tyrant. But as you just noticed there, Harpist gets to the 4-minute mark, gets that Doomsday onto the board, a little bit of a early game power spike.
Yeah, but the Tyrant now, it's going to be picked up by Bai. He ensures he gets it, and Ihan's looking for those slashes, but not too much. Weira going very deep. He's actually been stunned, but he's going to be chased. Wind Slash on top of him, but Weira tanky enough to get on out.
Yeah, that's scary, right? Like the amount of damage that happened onto a 663 that really just drew him from that team fight. Yes, RRQ was able to get the Tyrant, but it's losing nobody at the same time is a good effort, but this minion, it could be enough for the side of KAGENDRA just to take this T1 down there.
Yeah, again, I mean, 5 minutes into this game, not a single kill. I mean, the Tyrant being picked up, just the teams are like working around one another. Yeah. Nobody's really willing to go in for the team fight because they know now is not the time.
Everyone's stepping on eggshells. That's what's happening here with these team fights. Nobody wants to commit because nobody wants to be the first blood. Nobody wants to give over the extra bit of gold. But yeah, Ihan's Weira looking just to clear out those minion waves into the top side of the map.
Yeah, just extending this game more than anything else. But if we're looking at drafts, though, I mean, you have Lex on the Gia. You're going to have a slight edge since that late game. Plus, you have Harpist on an Arlie, which is going to do some serious work. But is it going to be enough? If you were to pick one of these two teams as having a better late game, which one is it?
I mean, Lanfang, obviously being the player on the late game hero of the side of KAGENDRA, I feel like that's going to be where I'd be looking towards, especially with Weira onto the Yang Jian here. Maybe just pop in that Destructive Deluge from Senko, right, is really going to kind of like turn the tides of this fight. And if you have the Venomous Staff as well, Bai is not going to have the greatest time in terms of that, the healthiest HP reduction, regen on that Duin. So it's going to kind of like just seep him into that death state.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like about Bai just being the tanky frontliner. He doesn't really need to do the damage.
No.
You have the other guys that can kind of follow up, but you need to be able to get in there and just disrupt people, stun knock them, and for the rest of the team, like Harpist, to just pick them off.
Yeah, Stunlock could be the potential here for the side of RRQ, but now defending that top side of the map here is going to be Lanfang, making sure they don't get that pressure into the clash lane, which obviously KAGENDRA has already been very successful at, but I feel like now is just tending the chickens, making sure you've got all your resources going for you, making sure you get your Azure Golem, and then maybe getting a bit of a dunk here, just trying to get a dive onto somebody. Weira is looking a bit trigger happy. Yeah,
looking to be very happy in that sense. I mean, he wants to fight, but I think that for now, KAGENDRA on the side, they're like, yeah. We got to hold up. We got to, as you're saying, tend your chickens. We got to just farm what we can right now. We'll get there. Like, we don't want to just fight this because we're not really an early comp. But now Bai is going to be over the wall finding it. And with that Universal Law just zoning them away, they find Bai, but he's going to be just kind of walking off of this one. And both of these teams, they're fighting, but they're really not a lot of damage that's being expended on both sides.
Exactly. I mean, it was nice there, Senko, right? Popping the Destructive Deluge over the Ode, so obviously they wouldn't be able to heal onto the Dolia there. Just kind of have a great HP regen into the back line. But right now, Lu taking a lot of damage, maybe just kind of trying to like phase check this Bai.
Yeah, and again, just a slower paced game. The bottom T1s have been able to take in the tops as well. So this is one where they're, again, it's more about the posturing. It's all about the big neutrals more than anything else. Even the net worths are pretty close in almost all the roles.
I mean, do you blame KAGENDRA for taking a shorter game or a slower game here after they had such a dominant game number one and then lost it? They really don't want to do that again.
Yeah, but you know, if you had that lead, you take an advantage. But now with this draft, it's a little bit different. They're not able to find it, but they find 663, and that's going to be a pickoff, and that goes the way of Lanfang. That's going to open things up. KAGENDRA on the prowl. They're going to just continue chasing, but they're not going to really find anything. Qinglin and Bai, just too much speed.
I mean, they got 663, right? Obviously, taking that off the gorge here for momentarily is definitely going to put pressure onto Harpist.
Yeah, taking that away. And Lanfang actually stealing away the Crimson Golem, so they'll be happy with that. Good turn of events for KAGENDRA here. Yeah,
they were able to find a possible opening, but at the same time, it's at the detriment of RRQ, right? The fact is that they never contested or took the fight to KAGENDRA, meant that Lanfang's been having a easy game just to farm up and get as much resources as possible.
And Lanfang, he's got to be kind of, I mean, hitting himself, like in the sense that, like in game one, didn't have. I mean, he was 9-1-1.
Yeah.
But the one time he died was the time that KAGENDRA like lost, right? Yes. So he's like, okay, I gotta play a perfect game. I cannot die a single time. I need to carry this team to victory.
maybe it's a little bit too much weight on his shoulders, right? I mean, that can definitely kind of crush a player in this competition because they have so much going for them and they have so much expectations from either the coach or themselves to perform and get their team into a further state within the KIC 2025. But right now, both teams fighting around and posturing.
Oh, they found Xinglin. They had the numbers advantage. He was continuing to fight 1 versus 3. The rest of the team were not there to help follow up. And now with having an Earth mode, Bai taking a decent amount, who has to Unruly Blade, but they have the Universal Law to kind of just deal with the minions. But look at how Ihans is taking advantage of that space.
Yeah, just basically demolishing that T2 at the top side of the map here as well. But RRQ, respectively, and in a mirror fashion, almost got the T2 down to the bot side here, especially with the help of the minions, but they've really got to kind of put an eye on that top side of the map for RRQ. They don't want to lose their T3 this early.
Yeah, I mean, they can't. I think that would be an absolute disaster. It's only 10 minutes in this game. This game is very close, even still with like a 3K net worth lead in favor of KAGENDRA, but they find the target that is Bai. He wasn't able to get out, and now 663 is on the run. They get the pick off, and Weira is starting to turn it up, and this is why Yang Jian is just a meta pick at this point.
A meta pick at this point, and they're not even got the Dolia, you know? Like, they don't need that kind of double in and out, diving onto the back line. They don't need the double ultimate here. They are proving that a standalone Yang Jian pick is not that bad.
It's not that bad. It definitely has its place, especially when you have Weira piloting. And I think that they're going to be in a fine spot. Yes, if you had that Dolia Celestial Melody, it takes it to the next level, but it's still good enough as long as you're picking the right moments.
That's the whole thing about Honor of Kings as well, right? Picking the right moments, making sure that you aren't kind of just spamming your skills. Because if you spam your skills on something like the Yang Jian, or you don't get the last hit or kill onto a creep and it doesn't refresh that skill quick enough, you've then kind of just denied yourself maybe a potential team fight play.
Yeah. Making right decisions and good ones is a huge part of Honor of Kings, something that I do not do well myself. But here we go, Bai. He's going to Unruly Blade on back. He's going to get to safety. Now KAGENDRA looking to siege the top lane.
They've got to put a stop to this one, obviously, sending Arpis there just to get the gold from the minions, but also just a quick decimation of that minion wave. He's really going to put that space to breathe here for the side of RRQ. I feel like they just need to put some pressure into the bot side of the map, right? Like, try and make a little bit of a play macro-wise.
Yeah, macro-wise, but I mean, KAGENDRA, on the other hand, they're just going for the mid lane, they're taking the Crimson, or they're looking to contest, but they're just like running it down at this stage. They have a bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, forcing away using that Sorin shot is going to be a good call here for the side of KAGENDRA, getting the T3 top side of the map as well. Maybe trying to force this lonely Canyon minion into that T3 into the mid, but not quite going to get it.
Yeah, RQ are going to just hold on this one. They lose the top T3, but KAGENDRA using the space, turning it into a Shadow Overlord, assuming that they're not contested here.
I felt like they will be contested, right? Like, RRQ, they can't let them just take a Shadow Overlord, but they did. They did. It's all thanks to the team of KAGENDRA.
Yeah. I mean, 663 got a little bit low, so they were like, oh, okay, actually, we can't really fight into that. Nobody's really in position to make the proper play. And KAGENDRA, you know, getting away with it.
Getting away with murder is going to be KAGENDRA in this game number 2. They did it in game number 1 as well, right? So I don't want to feel like fully commit to this idea that KAGENDRA is going to win game number 2 because of what happened in game number 1.
Yeah, all eyes are on Lanfeng, right? If he dies, we got a problem, right? RRQ have that opportunity to come back in this one, but Lanfeng, he hasn't died. His position's been great. He's been doing a lot of damage as well.
I feel like they're really going to rely on Xinling to try and get the dunk onto Lanfeng, right? Because anybody else finds it very difficult.
Yeah. And this is the kind of the problem that I have with this Jia pick. Is that, yeah, you have Universal Law, but the cooldown's kind of long, and now, like, the waves just clearing in. Like, really, how much damage can you do?
I mean, we can see that obviously he's level 17, so Sanctification has to be placed onto one of the heroes of RRQ. I've got a feeling it's Harpist, considering he's like 2 levels ahead of the Bai, and that's going to be really good here for the side of RRQ.
Yeah, mid T3 going to be going down. Harpist is, of course, your win condition. He is the guy, but losing the bottom one as well. Now the base wide open, RRQ, all hands on deck on defense.
The defense has to be good here by the side of RRQ because you no longer have any higher ground turrets, which is going to be a problem here And we've seen it time and time again. Teams come back from this territory, even with their backs against the wall. They go for a good defense.
Oh, they get the pick up. They find Lanfang. That's going to be the huge opening that they were looking for. And now Ihans is in a bad spot. He does get the pick up on a Harpist, so he turns this around. That might have been enough, but it looks like he's going to get away. No, by making him pay. And now Weera's in a bad spot.
Oh,
and again,
no.
he looks like he's going to be picked off. And like deja vu of game one, losing Lanfang, turning it into much more, not even having a T3. Does RRQ come back again?
Is this just like RRQ's mental, right? It's like, you know what? Let them push us to the crystal, and then we'll wake up, and then we'll win the game.
Yeah, I think so. It's like, okay, now we can start playing the game. Huh?
Yeah.
We don't need any towers.
Maybe I should do this in my rank games, you know? It's like, get to the crystal, like, guys, we're winning now.
Yeah. T3s are just slowing us down. We can just win this game.
Yeah. I'm going to Super Minions, who's heard of them?
Yeah, they're going to pick up the Shadow Tyrant. That will help them. RRQ in a similar fashion, down about 4K. This is still very different from game one.
Very, very different. But I mean, even though we joke about, obviously, RRQ coming back around about the crystal, it means that they still have to try and send somebody back to clear out the minion wave. I mean, it's going to be good for Harpist in terms of getting that gold back up, but he's almost 6-slotted, right? He's probably potentially looking to go for something like that Sun Chaser towards the end.
Yeah, and actually net worth-wise, he's like on top of Lanfang in terms of where they are. 300 gold difference is nothing at this point.
Yeah.
So they have their moments. It's going to be coming down to, again, Lanfang, does he get picked off?
Only time will tell, right? If he gets picked up again, that's it. That's going to be the trouble here for the side of KAGENDRA, but they're using a Destiny counter.
Yeah, but the Unruly Blade negating most of this, the Universal Law, but this is a situation where RRQ are, like, they step outside of the base, but with all the lanes pushing, it's kind of hard to continue. Now is the time. Senku, the passive in a bad spot, and Harpist making him pay. Bai is getting a little bit low. He has a little bit of shields, and no, Lanfang slicing him down. And now Ihans looking for the flank, not really going to go. KAGENDRA still, it's 4-on-4.
We've got some RRQ chanters in the venue as well. They clearly have a massive fans in the Philippines as well, but now it's going to be their chance to prove them right again and again and again. But Ihans doing a lot of damage, taking a lot of damage.
He's taking
a
lot. He's actually going to be gone on, and it looks like Harpist fighting him out, but Harpist gets a little bit low himself. He's going to trade his way of life, but he takes away Lanfang, and 3 members down from KAGENDRA, and RRQ again looking to come back, but Lex has to run all the way back to deal with the minions.
KAGENDRA, what are we doing? Why are we allowing this? Like, what's going on? We said it literally like moments ago. Hey, RRQ, if you just take out Lanfang, you're going to be good. And they've done it back-to-back times.
Yeah, I mean, Harpist is like a sniper. He knows that Lanfang has been the guy. And now, I mean, coming in from game 1, this is now looking very similar to it.
Yeah, just look at this instant replay. Obviously, we was really hoping big things here for Ihans coming into the back line, but it was just going to be that knock-up from the degradation of the Charlotte again, and then Harpist just lay waste onto Lanfang. He had one mission, and it was just to take out Lanfang.
Yeah, but I would have liked it if had Harpist survived. I mean, he's level 17, something to take note of. But now with this Overlord potentially going to look to go, he dives over the wall, and Bai gets the Overlord with that Universal Law. Bai is being focused, he gets picked off, Lanfang finds him, and now Ihans gets picked. Harpist is still up, he's going to do his damage, but he's going to trade his life away. 2 members down from RQ, 663 down, and now they've got Lex as well at KAGENDRA with 4 members. It looks like they're going to march down mid and take this game.
This is all down to Shinlin. It kind of reminds me of Boom's last game against APG, but it might just take a little bit too long here for Shinlin to come back. He has the Sage Sanctuary, but there's too many minions, and the crystal goes to KAGENDRA.
Finally, they were able to close that game out, but it looked bad. But in the end, they were able to find Harpist.